E.N.D here, day 5 for the spoilers of Kamigawa Dynasty. After the weekend where we had very few cards spoiled, today is Monday and we have a good number of cards to cover, review and discuss. Let's start. And I want to start with the 10 basic lands, 2 for each color for Kamigawa Neon Dynasty. These are not the full arts, these are the normal basic lands. Even though we know that basic lands don't have any value at all, at least we can admire the gorgeous artwork of these 10 basic lands. Peerless Samurai for 2 and 1 red, it's a 2-3 human samurai with menace. Whenever a samurai or warrior you control attacks alone, the next spell you cast this turn costs 1 less to cast. Born to Drive for 2 and 1 white, it's enchantment aura, enchant artifact or creature. As long as enchanted permanent is a creature, it gets +1/+1 for each creature and or vehicle you control. Channel for 2 and 1 white, discarded, create 2 1/1 colorless pilot creature tokens with this creature cruise vehicles as though its power were 2 greater. Go Shantai of Ancient Wars, 2 and 1 red, it's a 2-2 legendary enchantment creature shrine. First strike, at the beginning of your end step you may pay 1. When you do, it deals X damage to target player or planeswalker where X is the number of shrines you control. Shrine decks are getting more and more shrines added to them from Kamigawa Neon Dynasty. Generous Visitor for 1 green, it's a 1/1, it's a spirit. Whenever you cast an enchantment spell, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. Norika Yamazaki Deployed for 2 and 1 white, it's a 3-2 with vigilance. Whenever a samurai or warrior you control attacks alone, you may cast target enchantment card from your graveyard this turn. Striding Skyscraper for 8, it's an 8-8. The spell costs 1 less to cast for each modified creature you control. If you don't know what modified creatures are, I did a tutorial video explaining modify creature and how you can modify a creature. Has trample, has hexproof as long as it's untapped. Circuit Mender for 3, it's a 2-3, enters the battlefield, you gain 2 life, leaves the battlefield, draw a card. The rare cards, Ryu Storm's Edge for 2 1 red and 1 white, it's a 3-3 with first strike. Whenever a samurai or warrior you control attacks alone, untap it. If it's the first combat phase of the turn, there is an additional combat phase after this phase. It's a nice card if you want to get additional combat phases. Satsuki the Living Lore for 1 green and 1 white, it's a 1-3 legendary creature human druid. Tap, put a lore counter on each saga you control, activate only as a sorcery. When it dies, choose up to 1. Return target saga or enchantment creature you control to its owner's hand. Return target saga card from your graveyard to your hand. Keep an eye on this creature because this helps to accelerate enchantment saga, and because Kamigawa Neon Dynasty has enchantment saga that are double faced, on one side it's a saga, on the other side it's a creature, this card helps to accelerate those creatures into play. Very interesting card. Keep an eye on this card. Tribute to Horobi for 1 and 1 black, it's enchantment saga double face, and here where Satsuki the Living Lore will come in handy. Chapter 1, Chapter 2, each opponent create a 1/1 black red raw creature token. Chapter 3, transform it, and transforms into Echo of Death's Wail. It's a 3/3 spirit, flying haste, enters the battlefield, gain control of all red tokens. Whenever it attacks, you may sacrifice another creature. If you do, draw a card. Fable of the Mirror Breaker for 2 and 1 red, enchantment saga double face. Chapter 1, create a 2/2 red goblin shaman creature token with whenever this creature attacks, create a treasure token. Chapter 2, you may discard up to 2 cards. If you do, draw that many cards. Chapter 3, transform it, and transforms into Reflection of KIKI-JIKI. It's a goblin shaman 2/2 for 1 generic mana. Tap, create a token that's a copy of another target non-legendary creature control except it has haste. Sacrifices at the beginning of next end step. It's like yesterday playing KIKI-JIKI the Mirror Breaker with Darksteel Colossus. It was a very nice combo. The Restoration of a Ganjo for 2 and 1 white, it's an enchantment saga. Chapter 1, search your library for a basic planes, reveal it and put it into your hand, then shuffle. Chapter 2, you may discard a card. When you do, return target permanent card with mana value 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Chapter 3, exile it and transform it, and then transforms into Architect of Restoration. It's a 3/4 fox monk with vigilance. When it attacks or blocks, create a 1/1 colorless spirit creature token. Invoke Justice, this is the Invoke white version for 1 and 4 white, it's a sorcery. Return target permanent card from your graveyard to the battlefield, then distribute 4 +1/+1 counters among any number of creatures and or vehicles target player controls. Therefore, you will return a target permanent from your graveyard, any permanent, then you will distribute 4 +1/+1 counters among any number of creatures and or vehicles target player controls. Therefore, you can target also yourself. Otawara City in the Clouds. Legendary land, tap for 1 blue, channel 3 and 1 blue. Discard it, return target artifact creature, enchantment or planeswalker to its owner's hand. This ability costs 1 less to activate for each legendary creature you control. Mecha Titan Core for 2, it's a 2/4, it's a vehicle crew for 2. 5. Exile it, and 4 other artifact creature and or vehicles you control. Create Mecha Titan, a legendary 10/10 construct artifact creature token with flying, vigilance, trample, lifelink, and haste. That's all cards. When that token leaves the battlefield, return all cards exiled with Mecha Titan Core except Mecha Titan Core to the battlefield tapped under their owner's control. Let's stop for a second and digest this card. It's a 2-drop 2/4 vehicle with crew 2. Not bad. Then, if you control it and you control another 4 artifact creatures, you can pay 5, exile them, and you will create Mecha Titan, a 10/10 construct artifact creature with flying, vigilance, trample, lifelink, and haste. That's all colors. If Mecha Titan leaves the battlefield, you will get back the other artifact creatures that you have exiled. No doubt that this particular card reminds us of the anime mechas, Voltron, Mazinga, etc, etc. Mythics, more and more Enchantment Saga Double Face. Hidegatsu consumes all for 1 black and 1 red. Chapter 1, destroy each non-land permanent with mana value 1 or less. Chapter 2, exile all graveyards. Chapter 3, exile it and transform it. And it transforms into Vessel of all the consuming. It's a 3/3 Orc Shaman with trample. When it deals damage, put a +1/+1 counter on it. When it deals combat damage to a player, if it has dealt 10 or more damage to that player this turn, they lose the game. I believe this is one of those saga that will see a lot of play. First of all, it's a 3-drop, can clear the board, can clear the graveyards, and when it's back, it's a 3/3 Orc Shaman with trample, and when it deals combat damage, you will start to pump it up, and if it deals 10 damage to a player, they will lose the game. Very, very scary. So this was the last card in this particular day 5 of the spoiler season of Kamigawa Neon Dynasty. Join me tomorrow for day 6, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more and more interesting videos about Magic the Gathering and the collectible world.